Hello and welcome everybody to Alumni Night here at Moeller High School, our duel against Elder. You're currently watching the JV stream, and we will continue the commentary on the broadcast when the varsity duel begins. You're seeing the end of the first period where Ryan Dolan will attempt to fight back against Quinn Reichman of Elder. Elder is up by a score of 5-0 with the beginning of the second period. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Wrestling now is Elder sophomore Connor Glassmeyer against Moeller's freshman Uriah Ogletree at 144. Next up for the JV match, we have Anthony Alter, sophomore from Elder, wrestling Richie Bader, junior from Moeller at 215. Next up on the JV duel is senior Brad Sims from Elder wrestling freshman Christian Harris from Moeller, 285. The commentating will continue at the beginning of the varsity match at 7 o'clock. Up next in the JV match is freshman Andrew King for Elder. Will be wrestling The final JV match of the night will be Ben Collini, sophomore from Elder, will be wrestling Wyatt Medley, sophomore from Moeller. Hello and welcome to Moeller High School, where we have alumni night. The Crusaders are taking on the Elder Panthers. After warm-ups here, we'll get started. The duel starts at 285, the 285-pound weight class. This is Tyler Teep, graduated the class of 2012. Up here in the booth with me is Garrett Lotz, graduate of the class of 2010. How you feeling, Garrett? How you feeling about this duel?
I feel it's going to be a very good one. Very good for a lot of reasons. I think it's going to be a good test for us. I think it's going to be a good old traditional GCL matchup. It can never be exactly a bad night. It's going to be exciting for the alumni. It's going to be exciting for a lot of just old faces, new faces. Good day all around. How are you feeling?
No love lost between these two programs, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I do think it's going to be a very close duel. It's going to come down to who gives up the least amount of bonus points, as it always does. Moeller has some inexperienced young lightweights in their roster, and if they can stay off their back, I think Moeller's got a chance here.
Yeah, after all, like you said, a very much an experienced group compared to what we're used to, but they have done really well. They come a long way since the beginning of the year. There's no doubt about that. On top of that, I think this is a good test. As Jermaine would say, pups gotta be our dog, gotta be dogs. Dogs gotta be dogs. That's what it's got to come down to.
Yep, for sure, for sure. You go out and wrestle like a pup, get put on your back. We're not going to win this duel. But we'll be starting off the 285-pound weight class. The first matchup should be Luke Sternberg, the state alternate from last year, sophomore from Moeller High School, wrestling against Michael Urian, junior from Elder. These two have actually already faced each other this year at the SWOCA semifinals. Luke beat Urian 3-1 earlier this season. So hopefully he can tack on some extra bonus points onto that. Hopefully it's not quite that close.
Yeah, and you know what? One thing to add, uh, Luke also placed eighth actually in the Powerade tournament. So those of you who are familiar with the Powerade tournament, very tough tournament, finished eighth. So I think he's gonna be having a lot of good confidence, coming in today, especially after that kind of performance. He lost to in a seventh place match to Aaron Reese of Wadsworth. Those of you who again are familiar with wrestling programs, Wadsworth is not a walk in the park. Good reputable program. Um, I think it's definitely going to be a good confidence booster coming in tonight.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We'll give you guys a break from our voice here until we get started. Hopefully, just a short break. And here we go. For those of you just joining us, this is Tyler Teep, graduating class of 2012. Joined with me is Garrett Lotz, graduating class of 2010. This duel will start off the 285-pound weight class with Luke Sternberg facing off against Michael Urian from Elder. Luke is a very impressive sophomore, state alternate last year. Like Garrett mentioned earlier, placed 8th at Powerade just a couple weeks ago. And Garrett, I think if history repeats itself, Luke will come out firing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those of you guys who are not familiar with Luke, he is not just your typical 285-pounder. He's got some speed, and he's also got some great strength. Uh, I would say he's like a man child, if you will. Especially since he did football just this past fall. And those of you who are familiar with him in football, you know what you're expecting. Someone that's going to come out firing for sure.
Like I mentioned earlier during warmups, these two just wrestled each other a few weeks ago at the Swoka tournament, where Luke defeated Urian in the semifinals 3-1. It was a close bout, and Luke will be hoping to expand that lead a little bit in this matchup.
Especially when you can also look back at videos. That's what's really nice about today in this wrestling world. There's a lot of video out there, and I think people really have utilized that. Especially, I think this team. This team has really been able to improve, not just by doing stuff like that, but also really spending a lot of time in the mat. So hopefully that we use that to our advantage tonight for sure. But it'll be close.
No scoring, a minute and a half into the match, as both of these two heavyweights battle for position. Luke throws that whizzer, but Urian circles out. You can see how strong this Urian is, pushing Luke around. Luke is not a weak young man
No, absolutely not. We got 2 seconds left in the match.
in the first period.
Sorry, my mistake.
You're good. First period ends 0-0. Luke picks down to begin period 2. It comes up and out immediately.
And like I said earlier, he has some speed, and that's I think going to be the difference maker in this match. It's not going to be this, the strength in general, because as you can tell, the strength is there for both guys. But I think Luke definitely has the upper hand in the speed and agility.
Yeah, let's hope he can use that to his advantage. Luke does a good job there circling out before getting pushed out. Elder looks like they're working for stalling calls by pushing, trying to force Luke out of bounds here.
We got a minute left.
Luke has to do a better job here. He did a good job just before that, but he needs to focus on circling back into the field of play. 40 seconds left in the second period. Nice slide by there.
Yeah,
Just missed. This is turning into a classic heavyweight battle. 1-0 at the end of 2 periods. Elder will pick down.
You know as well as I know that usually the first takedown, first go down usually loses the match. Well, in this case, we've had two guys that look like they can really get the escape points.
There's not been any stalling call yet in this match. Neither wrestler has been warned yet.
That's the one thing about heavyweights is that like it's almost harder because they're expecting you to just dance around and again fall. But you know what? When you're like a 106-pounder, you're expecting to move. That's definitely the big difference between the two scenarios when you got heavyweights and lightweights. But make no mistake, there are some guys that still expect you to move.
Luke's done a good job of breaking him down so far.
Absolutely.
It's been working for a turn for the first minute of this period.
I gotta tell you, Lucas really make up for the difference. He may have been pushed, but look what
And
he's
he
doing
misses
now.
that outside boot, and he comes up, and we get an escape from Elder to tie it up 1-1. 40 seconds left.
It's gonna come down to this. Luke's got to turn around.
Luke's got to circle in. He's getting lucky here. He might get hit with stalling soon. Luke with a good slide by. He's got to pair that with a shot right after. Luke's in on a shot. Luke's in on a shot. He drives in. Two.
Takedown.
Big takedown with 4 seconds left.
What a great end of a match so far here.
It looks like Coach Lindsay's going up to the table, wondering why there were no back points on the end of that takedown.
Well, do you personally think there should be takedown points or
I think he was asking where the third point of contact that was out of bounds was. He thought they were still in bounds.
There you go. That's more realistic. I can understand that.
And they'll finish it out.
Nice.
Luke with another 3-1 win over Michael Urian. Same as the semifinal from Swoka just a few weeks ago.
And that's going to really make an impact here.
So that'll put Moeller up 3-0 as we drop back down to the lower weight classes. And we'll see who Moeller sends out here. But we should get Tony Cassis, freshman, first-year wrestler from Moeller, will be wrestling Colin Brocksterman, freshman from Elder.
I'll tell you, of all the kids, all the freshmen that we've had, I think Tony Cassis probably made the most impact from when he started to where he is now. He's been this summer working out, and above all, he's been taking advantage of the time during the matches, during the work practices this year.
He really has done an incredible job at buying into the sport. Like he is a first-year wrestler, but he watches film of college wrestlers in his downtime just for fun. So he's going to struggle here against Colin Brocksterman of Elder. Brocksterman has placed in a few big tournaments this year already. He got second place at the beginning of the season at Ryle, and he took 7th place on the podium at the Swoka tournament a couple weeks ago.
So that is definitely good, like a resume right there for Elder right there. This is not a walk in the park of an opponent here for Cassis. Hopefully
Tony's fighting off his back here. Keep fighting. He's got a long way to go.
Unfortunately, he does.
That's a tough match there from Tony, as he gives a touching tribute to our 2010 graduate Spencer Heidi here on Alumni Night.
And I got to tell you, Spencer Heidi was definitely something else. It was already tough. He was a Buckeye fan. Personally, I'm not a Buckeye fan, but I always love to give him a hard time. At least I wasn't a Michigan fan, I'll tell you that. For the record, I'm a UC fan. And I know, Tyler, you're a Dane fan.
Coming up at 113 here is freshman Brandon Black from Elder, a freshman, against freshman Trent Konis from Moeller. Trent is another one of our first-year lightweights. Like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, we have a slew of inexperienced guys at the lower weights, but they really have taken to the sport. They work very hard, and I think they're going to be a force to reckon with in a few years as they get experience under their belt.
Yeah, and you know what? A couple of our freshmen, even tonight, like they have actually started off very small. Some of them took advantage of our rookie program and then evolved to more than just a rookie program. Those of you who are not familiar with the rookie program, that is a 3-day-a-week program just to get kids familiar with the sport, even if they have the slightest bit of interest. That way they can see if this is right for them rather than get a full submergement to the team. And some have actually bought into coming in full time, which is outstanding work. We can't complain.
Yeah, it's been a great addition to the team this year. Shout out to Coach Mark Lynch, who's done a great job at bringing in new wrestlers to the program. As Trent is working for a reversal here. If he would slip that arm out, there you go, Trent. Tied it up 2-2 with 30 seconds to go in the first period.
And what's nice about Mark Lynch is that he's got jiu-jitsu background, and he's a lacrosse coach as well.
Trent locks up a cradle but gets sloppy with it.
Oh boy.
Black is looking for a Peterson here. He's got it locked.
Yep.
Trent's got 4 seconds short time to fight off his back here. And he does it. Saved by the bell.
Saved by the bell, indeed.
That'll bring it to a 7-2 score at the start of the second period. Moller's choosing down. My mistake. Elder's choosing down. We have the first caution here on Trent as he touches the knee to the back of the Elder wrestler. Trent going for that rake on the half here. And he runs him over.
He's got it.
He loses the half, though. Hoping to use his hips to hold this down.
Got to keep that control.
Looks like he loses it. His Elder belly's out. But that'll bring us to 7-5.
Still a good rebound.
That was a very, very nice half work as he goes forward again. And he goes a half on the other side, and he turns him again.
Back points.
He's got to adjust here if he wants to finish this off. He's got 50 seconds. He's got plenty of time. If he can get that arm underneath to lift the head. You can see the left shoulder of the elder wrestler still a little bit off the mat.
Plenty of time.
Got him.
Got him, yes.
Big pin by Trent Konis. That'll put Moeller ahead 9-3 in the team score. Oh, sorry, 9-6. My mistake. Got caught up in the excitement there.
We all get it. We all get it there.
Coming up in the 120-pound will be Connor Lambers, sophomore from Elder, against freshman from Moeller, Kyler Nunn. Connor Lambers is a force. Placed third at state last year. He's had a very successful season this year. Kyler, meanwhile, is a first-year wrestler.
He's a golfer, though, and he's got great hips. He's got a great approach to the sport.
He'll be in for a fight with this one.
Absolutely.
Lambers is just toying with Nunn in this match with 2 takedowns and 2 quick escapes. Nice ankle pick there. And he wraps up the cradle. Let's see if he can keep him in. He does. But Kyler fights off his back. And there's a quick pin by Elder Connor Lambers that will put Elder ahead 12-9. We got a seesaw beginning of a duel here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Real back and forth.
But you know what? I mean, like we said earlier, this team is not as experienced. This is probably from my perspective, probably the youngest teams we've had in a long time because we don't have many
definitely
seniors. Don't get me wrong, we have some seniors, but not a large amount.
But we have with six starting freshmen in the lineup tonight. You're right. This is definitely one of the younger teams we've had in a few years. But coming up at 126 will be Joey Thamen from Elder, sophomore. Will be wrestling Jared Johnston from Moeller, a junior. Both of these two faced off at districts last year. Thamen got the best of Johnston, but Johnston eventually ended up placing 4th at state. So this should be a decent battle. Johnston has been battling a knee injury that he sustained at the Powerade tournament. So we'll see if that comes into play during this match.
Unfortunately, he did not have the best turnout in Powerade, though. If I remember right, he went 0-2.
He did.
But that does not mean that he had exactly a bad 2 matches. The guy obviously could have had some bad draws and could have had some good competition. And that's the point why Moeller has that Powerade tournament in the schedule. It's not just that, but Perrysburg and Ironman. Just a few events right there that really makes Moeller a very unique program. And on top of that unique schedule, compared to most programs in the tri-state area, for sure. Also, I want to give a little shout out to Matthew Hammer. Matthew Hammer, I know you got your kid obviously not feeling good tonight. Want to give you a shout out. Thanks for chiming in.
As Jared's clinging to the arm on bottom here. Looks like he's waiting to find a sucker drag or a dump down there. He's not doing much moving.
I tell you one thing that's great about this match is with them being going head to head quite a few times, they know what the other has as tendencies. And going back to video, they definitely can see what they have done in the past too. So they're definitely two good opponents here for sure. In the first period, having a score of 0-0 likely.
Yeah, and as this first period comes to a close, if you said scoreless, we'll see if it starts to open up here, because both wrestlers were pretty defensive in that first period.
But wouldn't you agree? I mean, Jared Johnston is kind of a defensive wrestler in general to begin with. So this is his style, and I think that's such a good thing.
True. As Jared picks bottom, we'll see if he goes to his world famous Kazoni.
World famous Kazoni, I love it.
So we get a caution on red on top. There it is. Gets right to it, and he gets out. Everyone knows it's coming, and no one can stop it. Looks like Jared's wrestling on that right knee, maybe trying to protect it. As Elder looks for a shuck on that. Oh, and a pancake. Jared fights off his back, and he goes for a reversal.
What a huge reversal.
Looks like he'll settle for an escape, and he looks for a throw and gives up another takedown. Goes to sit out, right back to that Kazoni. And he gets another quick escape. So they go out of bounds. That'll leave us with a score of 7-2 for the match. 7-3. 7-3. I think they're going to confer with the scorekeepers to double check here.
There was a lot going on.
There was a lot of action real quick there.
Kind of funny because
and that's what both of these wrestlers are going to be reserved and look for their opportunity to strike.
Unfortunately, in the spirit of wrestling, it's all about getting out of your comfort zone. And I think Jared's going to have to probably get out of his comfort zone the next period.
If he wants to overcome this 7-3 deficit.
"37, the second period is over. Heading to the third period.
As Elder chooses bottom to begin the third period.
I will say Jared's very skilled up top as far as turning people. I think that's going to
That was
be.
a quick first move, though, as Elder gets
Oh, yeah.
the escape in just 5 seconds.
But like I said earlier,
Jared looks like he's loading up some upper body work.
yeah, he's got to get out of his comfort zone here and really get some scoring done.
And he gives up the legs, but they roll out of bounds, still up on their feet. Jared continues to look for that overhook with his left hand. Looking to load something up big.
Looks like Elder did get a stalling call in the process, too.
Yeah. We get another late takedown by Elder. Jared Granby's out.
Now the goal right now is not to give up another takedown.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's going to be a major.
That'll bring a 6-point deficit, and it gives up another takedown with 10 seconds left to make it a major, unless Jared can get out of here. And that's the match to make it a major.
And as you mentioned earlier, this is going to come down to the extra bonus points. And that is going to be one that is going to come down to haunt us if we don't react in a positive way, for sure. Hopefully, we can rebound into this next one.
Yeah, definitely. As looks like Elder is sending out junior Brady Mentz at 132, and Moeller will send out freshman Noah Jackson.
Fun fact about Noah Jackson is Noah actually came from the Goshen area, and if I remember right, in the Goshen area, he was actually coached by a Moeller grad, Brendan Walsh.
You don't say.
Yeah, so like
an old teammate of ours.
Yeah, so like I always called him as the Spider Monkey. So if Brendan Walsh, if you are listening, thank you for teaching Noah Jackson. He's doing a great job this year.
Yeah, he's a very impressive wrestler.
Yeah, actually, one of the ex Mason coaches, Brennan Ryan, who actually was my coach up at the Mount, talked to him after the Mason duel. He said he looked like a stud from what he's heard from the Mason community when they came here to duel a while back.
And they called both wrestlers out of bounds before Elder could finish that takedown.
And I think you agree with me that Noah Jackson is definitely going to be. I think I hate to say it, but like the centerpiece. He's like the shine, the most talented out of the group. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's from my perspective. I think he has a lot of great potential, and he's got a lot of potential. Kind of reminds me of how Jared Johnston started his freshman year. He's a fire starter. I think Noah Jackson has the potential to be another fire starter and another anchor for this team for the next few years, for sure.
Yeah. Another quiet first period so far.
Very quiet.
Both wrestlers continue to feel each other out. Good movement. And they're in a scramble. Noah's got to keep his hips up, but he gives up the 2. Right on the whistle.
And that's the one thing we also try to preach here, like in the practices, about not giving those points right at the last second.
And right at the edge of the match. Or right at the edge of the mat, sorry.
Yeah, right at the end of the period. But yeah, so tell you one thing, that's definitely something we try to preach, and like I know Jermaine really is probably the vocal point of that. He's like, don't give up those extra points, and you know what? Like that's a great example, something we gotta keep working on for sure.
Yeah, that is definitely a takedown that Coach Jermaine Lindsay would bring up at practice on Monday. And we get a stalling call on Moeller for their first warning.
Two very talented wrestlers in the second period here, really working hard.
Looks like Noah got poked in the eye. I'll give him a little bit of time and start him back in the middle, in the center. With a big lift there by Elder to get this takedown with 5 seconds left in the second period.
Four to one at the end of the second period.
Elder jacks up 2 double underhooks, looking for a throw. But will settle for a slide by and get a takedown at the edge of the mat. So Noah gets a quick escape. He's going to have to work pretty fast to make up some ground here. Elder's in on the leg again. Noah's balancing on one leg, fighting with a whizzer. And gives up another takedown with 30 seconds to go. Quickly looking for a reversal. And he gets it. But with short time left. See if he can pull any back points. And Moeller gets their second stalling call. I think the ref might have meant to give that to Elder, which, yes. And Noah Jackson falls to a decision of 8-4. That was a tough one, Garrett.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what though? The fact that Noah was able to get the extra 2 points right at the end, that at least
Yeah, he kept fighting.
yeah, he kept fighting, but you know what? I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, he kept on giving up points right in the last few seconds of the period. That's the drawback out of this whole scenario for him. I mean, out of this performance. I think he's got to learn to not give those easy points or give those points right at the end of the period. And I think he'll learn it over time. Bear in mind, like we said before, he is a freshman. He's a very talented one, but he's got a lot of room to grow, just like some of these guys.
And coming up here at 138 is sophomore Joey Ditullio for Elder against junior from Moeller, Graham Mercurio. Just by looking at him, I'm wondering if this Joey Ditullio has any relation to the Ditullio brothers from Mason just a few years ago.
I honestly couldn't tell you. But I will say, I mean, it's going to be still a good matchup. It's a matter of how, Graham is going to respond. You know as well as I know that Graham has had some good matches, but he's also had some matches where you kind of wonder, if he's there, like if he's hurt, or physically.
And Graham did receive an injury. He injury defaulted out of the SWOCA tournament from bruised ribs as he gets his first takedown.
I think that answers your question in a way, doesn't it? I mean, he's going aggressive here in the first period, which is much different than what I would have expected for a guy who had, like you said, rib issues.
I think he's come back from it. I think he's feeling better.
Yeah.
He looks like he needs to be careful. Elder's looking for that pinch in the arm for the fat man roll on the left side.
Absolutely. But he also had some sickness too. That's not mistaken. I'm sure people can understand that. This whole community's been impacted with sickness, I'm sure. But yeah, Moeller's wrestling program has had people in and out because of sickness. But I think we've turned the corner on that for sure.
Yeah, this time of year, it's hard to keep everybody healthy for a whole wrestling season.
It's a short time.
But Graham looks good in this first period with a quick takedown and up 2-0.
Absolutely. Now, if I remember right, Graham has gone to districts 2, 3 times.
The last 2 years, he has made it to districts. And I think the last 2 years he injury defaulted out.
Yeah, but
I might be mistaken about that, but
my point is, I mean, this is not he's not exactly a walk in the park opponent. I mean,
no, Graham's a very good wrestler.
Yes.
And he's always been right around the same weight of some of Moeller's other best wrestlers.
have
You know,
grown.
yeah, he's always been around the weight with Jared and with London. And so he's always had good drill partners in the room.
In a way, he's kind of our glue of the group, if you will. I mean, that's what I've always came up with him as a joke. He's the glue of the group. Hence the reason why, it's because his father actually works over at Gorilla Glue. So that's like the kind of a joke we got going on for me and a couple of people. I'm sure that don't understand.
Yeah, it's a nice Gorilla Glue pun.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get a stalemate here.
Tell you one thing that's also nice about Graham is He's a very humble kid. He's a very quiet kid, but I would say, like you said, he's very disciplined. He's very hardworking kid. So I'm glad to see he's growing to much better now, and he looks like he's still well in the second period here.
Ah. And 20 seconds left. We'll see if either wrestler can pull out any points at the end of this period.
Oh,
Jared's in on a
there it
shot.
is.
Graham's in on a shot. Looking to split the middle.
This guy's chance.
With his ankle locked and only 3 seconds left, I don't think he's going to get it.
But what a great ending to his second period here. I mean, that shows you he's working.
He's moving well.
Yeah, he just needed a little bit more time.
It's like Elder's going to choose down. Good ride there by Mercurio.
Yeah, he's riding him really well.
Oh, he looks like he's raking. He's looking for this arm bar. If he can get that far wrist. Still plenty of time left in this third period.
Looks like
And
he's out.
Elder gets a knee slide to get separation enough to get their escape.
Next takedown wins, I'm feeling here. Judging by the way how this match is going, next takedown wins.
Graham can't get complacent here with 30 seconds left. Elder's looking for a throw here. Graham gets a stalling call. His first warning with 20 seconds left. Gives up a throw. And that's going to be the match. On a last second throw from Joey Ditullio to get the win over Graham.
Tough match. Tough match indeed. We're at 22-19. Elders got the lead for 10 points.
22-9.
22-9.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Mistake. I guess
I wish it was 22-19.
I gotta get my eyes checked.
And coming up at 144-pound weight class is Andrew Thamen from Elder, a senior, against Stone Bustler from Moeller, a junior.
Now, Stone is one of those guys who is really stood out in the room. He's not only a returning captain. Last year he was a captain as a sophomore, but he's also a guy who has stood out as far as off-season workouts. Really has taken taken a like, interest in the sport. Really has taken it to heart. And you could definitely tell the difference between him this year from last year, and from when he was like a his freshman year even. I'm sure you can definitely agree with me on that.
Stone's getting his headgear worked on a little bit.
Wouldn't you agree that's kind of a freshman moment though? Getting a,
It's a goober moment, as Coach Lindsay would say.
yes, I would agree. That's a better way of putting it. A goober moment.
Stone comes up with the leg. Goes with a hard finish. Nice takedown.
Really attacking here.
Stone does have a very smooth approach to wrestling. Yeah, when you watch him move on his feet, it's impressive.
No, I can't think of the top of my head how he did at the postseason last year. Do you remember the top of your head, Tyler?
Stone was a state alternate last season.
Right, there you go. See, I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, did he make state or did he just do really well in districts?
No,
Well,
he got fifth at districts to be a state alternate.
that's it.
He started off this season a little rough. Going only 2-2 at Swoka. I don't think I don't know how he did at Powerade. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know he was looking to place, and
I think he did 3-2. I think if I remember right. But don't quote me on that. But I do know he won a few matches, if I remember right. So he at least did well enough to. But again, that's just one of the many tournaments we've done in our schedule to really make this team uh, overall better in the long run, not just in the short run.
Stone selects neutral to start the second period after he got that first takedown, seemingly pretty easily.
Very easy. I think that really.
He goes for that arm drag.
Yep. He's got a more of an attacking approach compared to most of our other wrestlers that we've seen, which is definitely good because it shows he's aggressive to like a get after those.
He pulls in the leg on the edge of the mat and tries to keep him in. And they just go out of bounds.
And one thing I think you could definitely agree with me, Tyler, is the body language. That's one thing that Jermaine has also emphasized on with this program. And when it comes to Stone, he's definitely showing great body language here, just by how he is here.
Yeah, definitely, and shown by the stalling call on Elder here. I think you're right. He's pushing the pace. Looks good. He takes another shot in on the leg again.
Yeah, he's got that leg really easy.
And he goes, gets his second takedown.
I would not be surprised he actually manages to get bonus points in this match. Personally,
Let's hope.
we could hope definitely, but the way how he's approaching.
Oh, and he's going for it. He goes to kick him with 30 seconds left, going for another takedown before the end of the second period. And he pulls it in. Good work.
Beautiful. What a great way to do this.
With 15 seconds left to see if he can do it one more time.
He's going to get it.
Oh,
Oh.
just saved by the bell.
But again, look at the body
He
language.
went for it.
He did. And again, like I said, with the body language, he went after it, even though there was like 10 seconds left or less, and he still stood up. Like he's not out of breath or anything. Which
Elder
is
will
huge.
choose down to start the third, but Stone will immediately go neutral and let him up.
Yeah, he probably doesn't want to waste time. He probably wants to go get just another takedown.
Hey, he's letting it flow on his feet. Might as well keep it going.
Exactly.
So he goes for a sucker drag and gets another takedown.
Now the question is, can he turn him?
You can see Coach Lindsay telling him to kick him. He's going for bonus points here. Let's just see if you can get enough takedowns.
He's got to circle around eventually. We got a minute left here in the third period. Stone's guy's leg. I took. No, he didn't.
It's definitely slowed down a little in this third period.
He has. But there's still a 4-point lead, and that still gives him opportunity to get bonus points, provided he gets 2 more.
Stone looks to pick that ankle. Oh, and just misses another takedown as they go out of bounds.
5.6 left in the period. 8-4. Victory. 8-4. We got 12-22. And 10 points. Elder is leading the way. Next up on the list is one that is no stranger to Moeller's winning circle, London Murphy.
Yeah, sophomore London Murphy's wrestling up at 150 pounds for this duel. Should be facing off against Elder's Phil Corcoran, Jr.
And I think the last time we saw him, London, was when he went 0-2 in Ironman, if I'm not mistaken. But again, we have a very tough schedule. Ironman is the #1 tournament in the country. Those of you are now aware of that. So, still a great dual opportunity for him to showcase what he can do.
Yeah, London, for those who do not know, got 5th at state last year as a freshman. He is a very, I'll say, unorthodox style of wrestling that a lot of wrestlers are not used to.
Yes.
And, I mean, he's a really hard worker, just a really good kid, and you can see impressive on top.
Yeah, and you know what? He's quiet. I almost want to refer him as the quiet assassin, if you think about it, because he really can shake things up here.
It looks like he's about to get this pin. He lets it go. Let's get his back points. He'll work on something else. He does a great job of using his legs, riding that outside boot. to control the wrestler on bottom
Absolutely.
while he's working his cross faces and abusing the head. As he locks up a cradle. He steps behind. He's got it tight.
Very tight.
And he's got it.
That's going to bring us to an 18-22 score for team's points. Elder is leading by a small margin now. A lot better than what we were seeing earlier. Great rebound from Moeller. And like I said earlier, he is Moeller's silent assassin.
Coming out from Moeller now is freshman Tyler Jocelyn, and he should be facing off against Elder's Lucas Kurzels Jr. Tyler is obviously a freshman, new to the program, just a heck of an athlete. As Elder gets a caution right out of the gate, looking for a shot.
Now, you mentioned about Tyler being an athlete. Now, if I remember right, he did like something like football, and I think he did wrestling when he was a kid, younger as well. Not really as huge, but he's got some musical background, if I'm not mistaken, in his family. So like he really knows how to bring out the music in him. Got to have fun somehow on this move. Tyler, might as well bring it out.
Tyler gives up his second takedown. His natural weight is around 150, so he is wrestling up for this duel right now.
Yes.
And I think that extra weight is making a big difference here.
It is.
Let's see if he's got any fight in him.
Unfortunately, that's part of the duel format, especially with Coach Lindsay. Coach Lindsay is a guy who's very strategic, where he can have people obviously go up or down a weight class, if not their own weight class. It has happened quite a bit over the years for him. And this is no surprise for us since we're coaching in the program and all that, but sure enough, this may be a surprise to some of you guys.
So the first period ends 6-2. Elder with the lead.
While we're having this little spot to talk here, we want to thank everybody for joining us here on this webcast. We know you guys could be doing other things, but we appreciate you guys chiming in.
And we get a potentially dangerous as Elder fights for an armbar, but his arm gets a little too high on Tyler's back.
I think that's actually happened more often now than it has in years. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's just what I'm thinking.
Followed immediately by a caution. And that first 30 seconds of this period, Tyler didn't do much moving on bottom. He's got a... And he switches right to a Granby, and he's in on a leg. Going for a reversal.
What a
And he's
great
got
reversal. That just changed the whole outlook of this period and of this match so far. 4-6 score right now.
And Tyler gives up a switch. And he goes for another Granby. He's in on the leg again. Same move. Looking for this reversal again, and he gets it.
What a great, great reversal. 2-point difference. Short time in the second period.
He can hold on here for 6 seconds. He tries to throw his boots, and he gets some backs, and he's got... Oh, only a 1 count. Only a 1 count.
But you know what? That's a sign.
That was close.
That's a sign. Third period, I think he's definitely showing his conditioning. Like it's definitely like it really there. I think that's going to make a difference in this last period.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do it.
Because like you said, he's a very athletic kid. Athleticism and the conditioning are two different things that are going to be able to help here.
Elder's able to get that slide by, get behind him for 2. Let's see if Tyler goes back to that Granby again. Worked the first 2 times. He does go back to it. He's looking for an inside leg Peterson. But is unable to finish it. And they're going to hit Elder for stalling on top. And down by 4 with a minute left. Tyler's got to get moving here.
But you know what? I think that now that he's actually going to be in this referee's position, that's going to help him now be in a much more cleaner spot. Not much action here.
Goes back to that Granby again, but this time Elder's able to follow. Goes for a switch. He's got to start piecing those moves together instead of doing them one by one. And he goes for one last Granby, gets his escape. With 3 seconds left, it's too little, too late.
Tough match. Tough match.
Yeah, that was a close one. But Elder's able to pull it out 10-7. Coming up at 165 will be junior Phil Owens for Elder versus another freshman, Noah Evans for Moeller.
And Noah Evans is definitely another potential anchor for this team. Really has a good background. If I remember right, his dad actually has some MMA background, so he comes from a family that really is about aggression and and I would say that the toughness, if you will. So that's gonna be really helpful. Very athletic kid, good kid indeed. Should be an exciting match. I can't say if I remember right, he did well at power rate. Was that am I wrong or no?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't have the results on me at the time.
If I remember right, I think he did. Of course, I'm talking about the JV tournament. I think he did both of them, and I think he placed in the JV tournament, uh, along with Christian Harris, who is also a freshman.
He does a good job at rolling through that Granby tilt. Noah Evans is another one of our wrestlers who is bumped up a weight class during this duel, and again, it looks like it might be coming into play during this match. He rolls through that Granby tilt again. With 30 seconds left, we'll see if Noah Evans can have a strong, quick first move. Try to get this escape before the end of the period. And he goes for a hip toss, but they roll out of bounds. And we've got the first caution here on Noah. So Elder gets an escape, brings the match to 3-0. They'll be back on their feet.
It looks like Oh boy, it looked like Noah had it for a second. About a minute left in the second period.
Noah gives up another takedown, and they cut him. Looking for their own bonus points here. Hoping to get enough takedowns for a major. And he throws him to his back. But Noah's able to fight off,
Still
get his
bonus
escape.
points. Was that they're giving him 3 bonus points, 3 near fall points on that. Like we said earlier.
Looks like we'll be taking some injury time for contact solution.
Like we said earlier, this is going to be coming down to bonus points, and sure enough, it is coming down to bonus points.
Yep, for sure. I don't know about you, Garrett, but this was my favorite way to call a timeout when I was feeling real tired during a match. Pretend like my contact was out. It looks like this one's real, but back when I did it,
No,
I didn't even wear contacts at the time.
No, I honestly didn't need much injury time. The only time I did have real injury time was when I was in college. I tore my meniscus in my knee, and then I used to have my injury time, and they said either you stop or you keep going. I finished it. All the other times I was involved with injury time is because I had some blood time that was yeah. I don't think I even had to do the dreaded nose plugs for a nosebleed even.
We're
Like
not all built like you, Garrett.
no, but you know what though? As soon as I left here, that's when things started falling apart. Those of you who are past the high school years and probably even past your college years, you can definitely understand what I'm talking about when I say you fall apart at that point.
And they hit Noah with the stalling calls. He's pushed out of bounds. Down by 9. He doesn't want to give up bonus points. He's got some work to do himself.
He's got short time here, 5 seconds left in the second period.
And he gets another stalling call getting pushed out of bounds. Owens for Elder looks like he's smelling blood. He's going after Noah with everything.
Yep.
And they give him a 2 right as time expires in the second period.
I don't know about you, but I think I was a little, I would say, contestal. That was definitely something that I would have questioned a little bit, but
Certainly was right at the buzzer.
that's why I'm like, yeah, I can understand it, but I also think that would have been a good contest for Jermaine to probably go out there and at least look at it and say, hey, fucking, did he really do it that quick? But that's why I'm not paid the big bucks.
Based on Coach Lindsey's body language, I think he's pretty disappointed in how some of his wrestlers have wrestled at the whistle so far tonight.
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing about Coach Lindsey. Jermaine Lindsey's definitely a special coach. He has high standards, just like how we've had it here. Back when Coach Geyer was around. As a matter of fact, Coach Geyer is still around, but he's the IT director here at Moeller still. So we're thankful for him to help us set this up tonight, uh, as well as the first lady of Moeller Wrestling, his wife, Chris Ann Geyer, along with Ray, who is his son. We appreciate their attendance tonight. Means a lot knowing that they're behind the program still after all these years, especially since it's alumni here at Archbishop Moeller High
Owens
School.
is able to throw Evans here to finish off the tech fall with a 15 Wow. Yeah, 15-point deficit.
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of Ray Geyer, most people recognize his brother Dean Geyer's name, but what
Yes.
people don't know is that Ray has accomplished something that Dean never could.
Really?
Oh yes, he won a freshman GCL title here at Moeller.
Why?
Yep.
How about that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Dean.
I don't remember ever hearing about that, but how about that? Yeah, if only we were a little closer to Ray, he probably would be laughing. But he's actually here in the bleachers, not far from us here, and he's not able to hear us. So maybe we'll have to share this webcast with him, and that'll be fun.
And coming up wrestling right now at 175 is junior Braden Cooling from Elder facing off against sophomore Nate Boston from Moeller.
Yeah, Nate Boston's actually wrestling up a weight. He was typically around 160 pounds. So as you can imagine, this is a little bit of a difference for him. But yeah, he's one of those kids who's returning this year. This is I think his second year here. So that's definitely something special. Knowing that we're having kids like him come back and really improving compared to last year for sure. He has the leg. Still no points given here. Nate's hanging on to that leg. We got 30 seconds left in the first period.
He goes to lock in the crotch to keep from giving up this late takedown. He's got to keep moving his hips. He's got to keep circling. And there it is. Good work
And that's a
by
great
Nate Boston, not giving up that takedown.
Yeah, that's a great way for great representation of working to the last second, just not give up those points. True, a like I would say, a heart, if you will. Great representation of what we're trying to showcase here at Moeller High School's wrestling program.
Nice slide by there by Elder. Cooling looks like he's riding these boots pretty tough. If Nate's not able to pull out this win, Moeller won't be able to win the duel.
Unfortunately, you're right, especially when we started at 285 tonight.
With only 2 weight classes left, we need to finish this match inside of 12 points. And it looks like Cooling is tough on top.
Hey, it looks like he's really good.
And Boston's able to wiggle out and get
How
a
about that?
reversal.
There you go.
Goes for a Granby tilt here, but
Maybe we haven't seen the last of it. Like I said, we're all about endurance. We're all about true grit and working hard, like with the conditioning. And I think that the way how we just saw right there, it really gives good optimistic feeling right there that this match isn't over.
yeah, let's see if Boston can stay tough here.
I mean, it's a 3-point difference at this point. 3 points, 1 period.
Looks like Elder's coach is double checking with the scorekeepers. But no change, still 6-3, the start of the third period. And the wrestlers will start on their feet. And another slide by. Into a flurry. Boston needs to get his hips up if he doesn't want to give up this takedown.
Yep.
He's hanging on to that leg for dear life, but Elder steps over to get the 2. Now is working on locking up a near side cradle.
.40 seconds left in the third period.
And Boston's able to get another escape to bring it within
4.
4. Got to go for a home run here.
.20 seconds to get that home run.
He gets the fireman's, but isn't able to hold him onto his back.
A 2-point difference. And this match is over 6-8. That makes the score 33-18. So we only have 190 and 215 left. Reminder, we did start at 285, so
Moeller sends out Junior Jet Sanchez. He'll be facing off against Junior Ian James from Elder.
one thing about Jet is that he actually had Tommy John surgery last season after last year's Elder duel. So this is definitely going to be a interesting approach for him.
These two have actually also already wrestled each other this season at Swoka.
Yes.
In the consolation finals, Jet was able to win by pin.
And I think the strength really showed the difference between like a like this year and last year's version of Jet too. Uh, he really showcased it in the Swoka finals, for the consolation rounds. I mean, he really worked in the off season. He's been on the mat more often this year after practices and stuff like that. So he's really made an impact.
Jet's able to get this takedown. Yeah, he definitely has put in a lot of hours in the weight room this year, and it shows.
Yeah, one thing I've always told him, when I've been working with him after practice, is he already lost, essentially had half a season. So it is our job to make sure he makes up for that loss. And that's why I
He
think
goes to pull back this cradle. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
tilt.
and I think that really is his motivating factor uh, this year to make up the difference. Because as you can imagine, he missed the postseason last year. He was also I think he was first team GCL last year as well. And I can't remember what weight he was last year, but he really has gained a lot more healthy weight as well. Uh, and if you know of Jonathan Sanchez is his brother. He graduated last year. He's actually in the Navy prep school. So he has that same mindset as his brother as well. Uh, Great family, Navy SEAL, from his dad. So huge.
Yeah, Johnny was a state placer for us last year.
So you can imagine what kind of a pedigree they have in that family. They're they're both natural fighters, and I think they're really willing to put in the work, and that really shows here tonight and this season in general for Jet. The only difference between Jet and other people that wrestled up this tonight is that Jet actually was wrestling 190. Earlier in the season, he wrestled down once he got after Swoka because he naturally lost the weight, and that really made a difference for the team. But because of that factor, he's also uh, been accustomed to this way as well. So he's got
He
that.
goes to split the middle here, looking for a reversal. If he can get that leg free. He's able to get it, and he's got
Back
James
points.
on his back.
He's got him on his back. Back points.
Got it.
Pin. What a great night for Jet Sanchez.
That'll bring Moeller within 8 with sophomore state qualifier Will Adkins coming up. He'll be wrestling sophomore Carson Williams from Elder. Unfortunately, they're just out of reach for Will to save the day here.
Fortunately. But you know what? This still is going to be a great match to watch, especially like uh, later on in the postseason and stuff like that. This is going to be still a good match. I don't know if they wrestled in Swoka.
They did not. They have not seen each other yet this year. And Will Adkins is out here with a vengeance, it looks like.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now he's a bulldog, guys. I mean, I would say he's just like Luke. He played football, uh, and because of that attitude that he has had for football, and because of what his upbringing was, as far as like his dad, Randy
Nice slide
Adkins,
by.
huge, huge upbringing for him. I mean, his dad, Randy Adkins, wrestled here, and Sure enough, he's here. He came from the Kid Crusader program, just like a few other kids.
Looks like the ref called a potentially dangerous there with Will's arm getting close to his opponent's throat. But Will brushes that off and gets another takedown. Starts running this arm bar. If you can get that far wrist.
I think he's gonna get him on his back here. But he's got 30 seconds to do it.
He takes one more step, but he lets him back up.
Needs one more point for Major. In the first period, we got 11-3. Again, before we end tonight, I wanted to thank everybody for coming on this webcast. Really means we appreciate your support here for Crusader Wrestling.
With a locking hands penalty there, Will will get another point and still has the opportunity to escape here. As he comes right up. And goes right into a switch for the reversal.
There you go.
Gets right back to this arm bar.
But he's got 11 points, so he needs to get 2 more.
He's going to let him up.
So he needs 3 more points. He needs to take him down and just turn him, and then he has the 15 points. Or he could pin him.
Gets 2. He's looking for a Merkle here. Trying to stretch him out. And gets him flat. The referee stops it for potentially dangerous. Nice mat return by Will to get another takedown. Up by 13.
Needs to get 2 to get his tech fall.
He runs a deep half.
Looks like he's going to get that pin.
Five seconds left. Elder's able to fight off his back. Still a tech fall. That'll lead us with a final score, 33-29. Elder over Moeller. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good night.